So, yung sinasabi kong kanina na kuwari, P3D65, kaso nga lang we won't see it kasi hindi naman tayo nag-review ng HDR. So, ganyan yung mangyayari. Oops. Ayan. So, kinonvert niya into a P3D65. Looks odd. It looks log pati. Kasi, yun nga, we're not viewing it on an HDR environment. So, papakita ko sa inyo ngayon yung disadvantage din ng node-based na color manage pag kailangan na natin ng different outputs. So, I'll go back dun sa YRGB. So, ito. Balik tayo sa ARRI. Color Space Transform, ARRI Alexa, ARRI Log C. Yan. So, i-ano ko lang siya, brighten up ng konti. I'm using the offset tools again. Yan. So, for example, mag-grid ako after the transform. Yan, brighten ko pa. Sample lang. And then, nagsabi yung producer, kailangan namin ng P3 na output. So, nag P3D65 ka. And then, for 1,000 nits, yan. Balik ko lang. So, ipipick ko tong highlights na ito, kunwari. Kunwari lang, pinalilatan natin yung temperature. Tapos ngayon, if I'm going to change this to P3D65 and then to 1,000 nits, hindi niya na nakukuha yung buong Kasi everything after the transform is not convertible to the bigger color spaces eh. So, and anything bigger than Rec 709 na color space, medyo mahirapan na siya i-convert to P3D65, kunwari, to 1,000 nits. So, yun nga, everything na after ng transform node na to are display referred nodes. So, hindi siya convertible as scene referred nodes. Pero everything under the transform will map out correctly from Rec 709 to P3D65. So that's one thing to watch out for. Pero with our current workflows, wala pa naman ng HDR requirements. So safe pa naman tayo dun sa workflow na gusto mo pa pang i-adjust dito after the transform. So, ito, for example, commercial. Oops. And so, kunwari, gusto mo pang i-punch up yung contrast mo, kunwari yan. So, post-transform, pwede ko pa siyang i-up ng konti na using yung normal na lift gamma and gain. Kasi kapag yung pre-transform, pinipinch niya yung highlights eh. So, it's not working normally na as you would. So, ayan. So, ito yung before and then after. Konting dagdag na lang sa contrast yung ginawa ko on this one. I'm not sure if I'm going too fast. Sorry. So, I'll share then how I normally work. So, kunwari, I have a fixed node tree kasi. I usually work on a fixed node tree. It might look very jarring or scary to you, but it's actually quite easy to understand. So, for example, ito, I have an ARRI. Ayun pala, sorry. So another way to color manage your footage is using LUTs. So for example, this is an ARRI footage, so I'm going to use the ARRI LUT. So essentially, it works like a color space transform. But yun nga lang, with the limitations of a LUT, kasi numbers lang siya on a table. And pag na-reach mo na yung limit, dun na mag-introduce ng mga artifacts, mga ganun. So same, I'm gonna grade pre-LUT to increase my brightness. And then lessen the reds ng konti. Lessen the greens. Add saturation. Yan. So from this to this. Yan. So I usually grade pre-LUT na pag color management. Pero yun nga, pag preference lang naman yun. You can still grade naman na outside the LUT. So for example, gusto mo na yung brightness na yan. Yan. I'm using the lift gamma gain ngayon. Yan. So ayan. Medyo limited ka nga lang on this option kasi for example, clinip ko yung highlights ng konti. Para yan. Very exaggerated lang. So, kuwari, pag clip na siya dito, pag try mo siya yung ngayon bawiin, wala na yung detail niya. So, that's one thing to watch out din kapag grading ng node-based na color management. Kasi hindi, kumbaga baked in na yung brightness na to dito sa transform natin or sa LUT. So, pag kahit transform to, yung color space transform, it works the same. So, pare, yan, this is before. So, ito yung brightness niya dito. Pag binaba ko kayo ngayon siya, wala na yung detail ng lamp. Like this. Ito, wala na yung detail niya. So, ito yung detail na meron yung lamp. So, ngayon, wala na siya. Grayed out na siya or solarized na yung highlights na yan. So, kung gusto mo magbawas ng highlights, I would recommend na sa before the transform para mas natural pa rin yung pagbaba niya. So, yan, mara, gamitin natin yung gain. Mas maganda yung roll-off ng highlights. Mas natural versus pag yung lift gamma gain on outside the transform or on a display referred workflow. So yun ang gusto ko sa color manager kasi everything feels cohesive ba in terms of tools. Kaya yung highlights, mas natural siya yung galaw niya. Yun, so I'll show you how I normally work. So yun nga, I have a fixed node tree. So I would recommend na kung try nyo din gumawa ng fixed node tree kasi it has its pros din eh. Kasi mas madali din mag-apply ng grade throughout the timeline. So I'll show you how. For example, apply ko dito. So for example, I'm changing my look and look node. Pakita ko din later from scratch itong ano na to. Pakita ko lang kung paano mag-apply ng grade na madali throughout the timeline. So for example, itong look na to, I'm going to change this warm kunwari. Yan. So I'll choose this shot number 7, and then go to color, and then ripple node changes to selected clips. So what happens now is applied na rin siya dito, yung ginawa kong look sa 23rd node. So yun ang ng node ng may fixed node tree, mas madaling mag-apply ng nodes to other shots kasi kapag hindi parehas yung numbering, hindi siya ma-apply or ma-apply siya sa ibang number nung node na yun. So kunwari nasa yung 23 mo nandito, baka kaysa parehas sila ng look, magkaiba pa. So that's an advantage then of having a fixed node tree. So let's reset this, and then I have my node tree here. Yeah. So I normally work na ODT lot. So this is an array. So I'm gonna use the color space transform, and then array Alexa, array log C, rec 709, and then gamma 2.4. So I don't recommend changing this settings kasi okay naman na siya by default most of the time. So next, for example, this is my key shot or my hero shot. So I'm gonna make a look for this. I'm using the offset wheel. Ayan. And then parang for me, kulang siya sa contrast. So ngayon, post transform ako mag-add ngayon ng contrast. So I'm gonna use the curves and then editable splines. Yan. So mag-add lang ako ng konting pop to it. Mukhang commercial look. Yan. So this is without the curves and this is with. So konting adjustment lang. And then saka ako mag-a-adjust ng mga, so this is yung kumbaga yung broad stroke ng paintbrush, and then kapag feeling ko okay na ako dun sa look niya, saka ako mag-nitpick. So for example, I find the lamps too bright, so maybe in this node, this is my highlight node, so dito ako magbabawas ngayon ng highlights. So I'm using the highlights knob here. So smoother roll off. So I can have it na windowed para yung, as in yung lamps lang yung tatamaan. And then soften it up. Add another one. So you can add another circular window using this. So for example yan, and then so yeah, ano ko lang siya dito. So my general rule for softness, pag nawala na yung inner circle na yun, it's soft enough na hindi halata yung window. There. So meron din akong nodes for my actor, kunwari ito, actor N, or actor in the middle. So I'm gonna make a new circular window and then soften it up. Tapos, ayan, I can use the gain tool here and then bawi ng konti sa gamma. So very subtle lang din naman, just to add more emphasis on her. So ito na yung parang mga secondaries ko. And then kaya sa trim nodes, so dito ko pwede gawin yung mga qualifiers. So for example, I find this red to be too saturated. So now I'm going to just pick it. Then blur it a bit. Make a window for it as well. And reset. So these are my secondaries for this whole thing. So for example, may isa akong shot before this na pag in-apply ko yung grade doesn't look the same. So I adjust it sa angle node. So nga lang, so let's try it here. So I'm gonna reset this windows. So I've applied the same grade. So I'm gonna adjust it in the angle node here. So I'm using the contrast knob here. And then maybe it's too cyan, so I'm gonna add some reds using the offset wheel. And then maybe lessen the saturation. Add some. And so, for example lang naman yan. It's a different lighting and ano eh. Pero that's how I normally work with yung mga cambi, ganun. So I have an angle node for that. So I would recommend na try nyo rin mag-fix ng P. Mas madali din para sa inyo kasi mas alam nyo na kung saan nyo gagalawin yung mga nodes nyo. So, eto kasi, this qualifiers here, I'm anticipating for agency comments. So, agency comments are usually, madami, manitpick. So, pero most of the time, hindi naman nagagamit lahat to. So, pinakagamit is yung output or yung LUT, and then the loop node. Tapos, kung director, gusto siyang pabago, pwede bang warmer. So, yan. I'm just gonna add some warmth to it. So, alam nyo agad kung saang node yung ano niya, in-adjust niya. Yeah. Yes, sir. So, mas madali siya ngayon. And then, pagdating naman ng agency, pwede bang make it brighter, ganun. So, once again, I'm gonna use the offset wheel, make it brighter. Yan. So, mas madaling i-adjust yung adjustments. Mas madali din i-apply to the other shots kasi you're just copy pasting it or you're just rippling it throughout the timeline. So mas mabilis din kayo matatapos kapag apply lang kaysa manually nyong gagawin yung mga adjustments.
Right.
So yun, ayun sir.
Thanks, Verge. Yeah, it's already 2 o'clock. Pero we'll get some questions from you guys. Do you have any questions? I think someone asked for, is Davinci Resovle free? And I think Miss
Yes.
says, yeah, it's free. No, you can download it for free. There's a light version nga with tama si Miss Tony G. She said that you can go to the website and download the free version. Okay.
Yes.
What else? Any questions from our participants? Anyone? May question ba kayo kay Verge? Guys?
Go lang.
Meron ba? Please, huwag kayong mahiya. Anyone? Wala? Ako siguro, yung question ko sa'yo, Verge,
sure, sir.
Hindi ko natanong to kanina kasi pinag-umpisa na kita kagad. How did you start from, lalo na kasi I think half of the people here are students, how did you start with being a colorist? Paano ka naumpisa, sa work na to? Of course, you're multimedia arts graduate, right?
Yes, sir.
Pero paano yung transition from your work and then becoming a full-time colorist, ganyan?
I started off color grading nung I joined a seminar na may color grading involved. Tapos, nung nag-demo yung colorist, which was si Miss Marilyn Magsaysay, I found it very fascinating. Parang color grading for me was like magic back then nung nakita ko siya. And up to now, it feels like magic, lalo na pag yung mga impossible shots or yung mga mahirap i-fix na fulfilling pa rin siya. And then from there, I've researched about it, YouTube, then dinownload ko yung Resovle. So, practice ko na siya from there on. Tapos, ayun, nag-trainee ako for underground logic. And then, the rest is history. Colorist na ako.
For 5 years na, no? Tama ba ako?
Yes, sir. For 5 years. I've been grading na for 5 years.
At saka, rin naman to, no? There's a big market talaga. Lalo na kasi nakikita mo yung gawa mo sa mga ads, right? Sa pelikula.
Yes, sir. May demand talaga din for color grading. Kasi dumadami na din yung contents ngayon eh. So, the more contents, the more kailangan din na grading for it. Yes.
The more racket. No? Nice. Ayun. Any other questions from our participants? Guys, any questions that you have for... I think na-explain na rin naman ni Verge kanina yung workflow niya na medyo ang dami.
Yeah, and it looks very jarring talaga at first. Pero once you get the idea of it, parang I'm just anticipating the comments. So for example, the highlights, ganun, or the sky, pwede ba yung sky? I'm just, pinagmukha ko lang siya madami pero normally, hindi talaga nagagamit lahat yan.
Tama.
Pero yun nga lang, for there was this food commercial na nagdagdag pa ako. So sobrang daming ninitpick na element. Pero rarely naman
Talaga.
nangyayari yun.
Uh, okay. Oh, I think we have questions now. Ayan.
Ayan. Go.
Thanks for sharing your color management tips and ideas and having a fixed node tree. I noticed halation and skin fixed nodes. Can I ask what tools or OFX you usually use for these nodes?
Okay,
Yeah,
that's a very
very
nice question.
technical question.
Okay, so for example sa skin fix, for this one, yung node ko for this one is normally very general skin fix lang naman. And then dito ako sa qualifiers dito sa post lot ako fix ng na paring softness ganun. So for example ito. So I'm picking her skin and then make a window for it. So, yung mga adjustments ko for this skin fix nodes, very subtle lang na hindi gaanong destructive. And then dito ako magre-refine. For example, yung mga eye bags, ganun. Saka ako mag-nitpick ng mga windows and everything on her skin. So, for this node here, subtle adjustments lang para hindi siya destructive sa pagdating dito sa post lot. And then for the halation, this is a different din. So, punta tayo dito sa Black Magic. So, I'm gonna reset this. And I use my power grade tree. So, this is a film technique kasi, yung halation. Apply lang yung transform. Color space transform. And then this is a Black Magic Gen 5. So I'm gonna use the Gen 5. And then Gen 5 film. There we go. Rex 7 and then Gamma 2.4. So Gamma 2.4 talaga yung standard pagdating sa Rex 7. So yan. So let's go to halation now. So this is a compound node kasi I'm gonna need a few nodes for this para gumana. So this is color space transform, wide gamma, and then film Gen 5, and then wide gamma, and then I'm gonna convert it to linear. Ibang so kailangan for halation na tools, kailangan nasa linear gamma tayo. So, and then I'm gonna create another transform node. And then, babalik ko lang siya sa original niya. So, this is linear na gamma. And then, ibabalik ko lang din siya sa original niya. Bakit? Yeah. So, when I turn this on and off, walang nagbabago. Then, now, sa ating halation tools, so I'm gonna create a new node and add a layer. So, for this one, I will set this to add. Yeah. So it will look bright. So on this layer here, I'm going to bring it down. Yeah. So I'm just going to find the highlights that I need for the halation to happen. So for example, this. And then I'm gonna add a new node. So I'm going to use the blur tool and I'm gonna unlink it. So what will happen now is there should be so it's not working for this. Right, maybe this is not the best example kasi for halation to happen, we need high contrast highlights. So let me try on another clip. Maybe on this one. Ito, dapat dito lumabas siya. Okay, so same, so yun nga, so it doesn't work Then on some clips, kasi pag kulang sa contrast yung, for example like this, masyadong madaming highlight, it's not working. So you might need a plugin for it. So ito yung medyo manual way of adding halation to a footage. So Arilag C, Ari Alexa, and then linear. Ari Alexa, back to Arilag C. Same, and then I'm gonna add a layer node. So this one. Yeah. Then add a new node. Blur. Yeah, so this is what's gonna happen. Alam mo sa parang film effect siya, yung film, may mga nangyayari sa film footage or film photos. Parang nagkakaroon siya ng redness. Yung parang, well, yun nga, it's called halation. So, just adds texture lang din to your footage na mukha siyang film. So, with this, ayan, so pwede ko siyang babaan ng konti para hindi super intense. Yan, bari, pag yan siya, ito yung supposedly effect niya. So you're just controlling it using the curves kung hanggang saan siya mangyayari. That's right. Yan. So this is halation now. So let's try to add grain. So, harap yung grain. Yan. So, para magmukha siyang filmic. Parang kinuha na ng filmic camera. So, 35mm. I'm not sure lang if kita sa zoom yung grain. Pero yan.
Yeah,
so we have our halation and then grain. So it's actually it's a combo din to make a film look. Ayun, add ka na din with that pala. So I'm gonna reset this. There are film looks lots for Davinci. So for example, and film looks. So these are film emulation lots. So you can use that. Pero to properly use film emulation lot ng Resovle, you have to convert. So color management ulit. So color space transform. So as my ID key, I'm gonna use, sige, pakita ko muna yung effect pala. Na film look na normal. So this one, ito yung pag in-apply lang sa normal na area. So it doesn't look very right, pero it could be better, di ba? So yung proper na gamma for the film lots ng Resovle is actually Sinyon film log. It's made for Sinyon film log na gamma, yung mga film looks ng Resovle. So this film looks, itong mga Rec 709 na to, is meant for Sinyon film log na output gamma. So now, it looks more natural na film. So, ari yan. Brighten up ko lang. And then add saturation. Yan. Medyo orange teal. Yung kinabalasan. So, yan. So, and then highlights, maybe bawasan ko pa ng konti. Yan. So, ayan. Film look na effect siya. Yung halation. So, remind ko lang din. So, this works on a linear gamma and then kailangan nyo lang din siya ibalik sa original color space and gamma niya. And then, the layer node should be on add. Tapos yun, you can control kung hanggang saan siya using the curves. And then, blur tool controls the color. No, kung gusto nyo kung gaano siya ka-red or gaano siya ka-yellow, ganun. Yun. So that's halation. medyo ano ko na yan, tricks ko na yan. So, pero,
kaya na-explain ko pa ng detalye. Wait lang, Verge, kasi it's almost 2:30 na rin. Gusto ko pang last two questions. No?
Sure,
How does the machine usually work? The one with all the, yung bilog daw kanina, as ni Miss Hannah Season.
What?
Yung kanina you're using that parang circle kanina within that area sa may girl na to. Tapos meron kaya tang
This one?
bilog. Yan.
Ah,
What's that? How does it work daw?
ah,
Tama
so,
ba, Miss Hannah? Ito yung question, no? Yeah.
yeah. So, ayan, this
Ano,
is
wait,
called,
what's the question? Sorry, wait. What's your question? External machine daw. Ayan. What do you mean external machine usually work? How does the external machine pala, sorry, alam ko kung anong bilog sinasabi mo. Yung external machine mo pala, yung mismong diikot. Yeah, yeah. Yung mismong ano mo. Do you have it now, Verge, or nasa office ba yun?
yung panels ba, sir?
Oo, yung panel mo. Oo.
Yeah, I have it here. Kaso hindi ko alam kung paano ko papakita.
Oo nga, malaki. Ay,
Opo.
siguro overview na lang, Verge, no? How does it, ano daw? Parang how does it work with you as in your workflow nga?
Okay, so,
Mapabilis, no? Mabilis yung work.
yes, kasi once na maka-use ka na ng panel, you'll never go back using keyboard and mouse. Well, based on my experience.
Yeah.
Kasi everything as it is, but isang click lang. For example, ito, add vignette. After this node, I can add a serial using one button lang, using in the panel. Unlike pag sa keyboard, you'd normally press Option S, diba? Or Alt S sa Windows to add a serial node. So, mas mabilis lang din. It adds din sa speed mo if you're using a panel. Yun.
Oh, nice. Very good. Yeah. Tapos, last question. Anong tawag dito? Sorry, last one. How do you deal with clients na madaming revisions?
With clients na madaming revisions. Okay. So, yun nga. Color grading kasi for me, it's not only about the technicalities or the artistic side of it. For me kasi, I believe that 50% of color grading is client relations. So parang once na mas kailangan kasi maintindihan mo din yung gusto ng clients and the way you talk to them, ganun. Na there are times kasi na minsan yung comments are not feasible or hindi gagana. So you can tell them na baka it might not look good if we do this or do that. You can give suggestions din na what can work and what cannot, parang ganun. But there are clients kasi na very picky. So yun, you just have to deal with it talaga na every element may comment. For example, every book dyan, papabago yung kulay.
Very specific, no? There are clients
sir. It really depends din sa clients na ka-work mo eh. So there are clients na everything pinapansin and there are clients naman na pinaka-general look lang. Ganun. Yeah. So depende pa rin sa clients man how you do. Pero siguro I guess patience. Pinaka isa doon sa magandang value sa colorist. Kailangan patient with those kinds of with those kinds of comments rather na medyo madami and sobrang picky talaga.
Patience, no? Sobra.
Patience.
Revisions, katakot-takot na comments.
As in, sir, there was this one grading din na grade yata kami for 8 hours. Ganun. So, there are really, talaga, ganun cases. Pero try to make it as fun as possible pa din for them. As much as possible.
Charge to experience, kumbaga. Diba?
Yes.
Lahat yun, baon mo na.
Hanggat maaari, the goal is customer delight pa din.
Exactly. Very good. All right. I think that's it, no? Sorry, medyo.
No problem.
So, thank you so much, Virgil, for
You're welcome,
guesting here. Guesting talaga. For being here in our MMAAP Talks episode 4. Again, thank you, and I wish you good luck sa career mo. Sana marami pang client.
And, thank you, sir.
Successful ka pa sa work mo. No? Ayan.
Thank you, sir.
Again, thanks everyone. Ayan, for joining us this afternoon. Again, this is MMAAP Talks episode 4, and we are signing off. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Verge. Bye-bye.
You're welcome, sir.